Imagine a day that everyone calls the happiest day of your life, suddenly turning into an adventure you never thought possible. Picture a bride standing in a beautiful hall full of happy faces, only to feel something in her heart saying, "This is not my life." Now imagine that very day, she makes a brave, surprising choice and runs away from her wedding. And as she drives on a long, winding road, fate offers her a twist that will change everything. A chance encounter with a kind, caring millionaire. This is a story about courage, unexpected journeys, and the idea that sometimes the right decision is the one that goes against all expectations. On a bright morning in a charming town, the stage was set for a grand celebration. Flowers dressed every corner, music filled the air, and a grand hall sparkled with light. In the center of it all was a young woman named Emma. Emma was gentle and kind. She loved art, sunshine, and moments of quiet wonder. Today, she was supposed to marry the man chosen by her family. Everything was perfect to the outside world. Yet as she walked down the aisle in her flowing white dress, there was a feeling inside her that something was missing. Even as the guests clapped and smiled, Emma felt a tiny, persistent whisper in her heart. It was as if her own soul was telling her, "This is not the dream that you truly want." Many people believe that a wedding is the start of forever happiness, but Emma's heart had a different story to tell. A tale of longing for discovery, freedom, and the courage to follow your own path. It is a reminder that even when everything seems perfect, we must listen to that inner voice guiding us toward our own truth. The day was filled with all the technical details of a beautiful wedding: crisp invitations, a carefully planned seating chart, and even a sound system that played soft, gentle music. Every detail was thought out perfectly. Yet with all these perfection details, Emma knew that life was not just about following a plan. Life sometimes requires us to make choices that go against even the best plans we have made. As the ceremony continued, Emma's thoughts raced. She walked slowly, feeling each step weigh heavy with the realization that the life laid out for her was not the life waiting for her heart. Imagine sitting in class and suddenly knowing that the answer on the board isn't the answer your heart wants, even though everyone around you seems excited about it. That is the feeling Emma had. A warm, gentle, but stubborn feeling told her that she must leave, even if it meant breaking every expectation. The sound of the church bells mingled with her racing heart. In that quiet moment, with her eyes on the horizon, Emma made a choice. Without a shout or any grand announcement, she quietly stepped away from the crowd, her white dress now a symbol of a brave new beginning. In that moment, Emma took her first step into a world without chains, leaving behind what others thought was her destiny and forging her own path. The decision came fast. In a heartbeat, with the wedding guests still marveling at the ceremony, Emma slipped away from the venue. She hurried to the waiting car, a simple, trustworthy vehicle parked under a blooming tree, and without looking back, she drove off into the open road. The path ahead was unknown, and every mile was a message of pure freedom. Picture leaving behind a big party where everyone expects you to stay. It is like when you are at a fun fair and suddenly decide to follow your heart to a quiet, mysterious path instead of staying in the hustle and bustle of the crowd. The road Emma drove on was long and winding. The car's engine hummed steadily as the countryside passed by, fields of golden wheat, sparkling streams, and little villages that seemed to exist in a fairy tale. Every turn reminded her that though her old life was behind her, A new adventure was waiting just around the bend. As the miles ticked by, Emma's mind began to settle. Along with a tinge of sadness for leaving behind the familiar, there was also excitement. Every bump on the road was now part of her journey. Even technical details like the steady purr of the engine and the crisp feel of the leather seat became her companions, reminding her that each moment was both ordinary and full of potential wonder. On the long highway under a bright blue sky, Emma found tiny moments of humor that made her smile. There was one moment when a sudden gust of wind made a stray balloon from a roadside stand dance in the air. For a brief second, she remembered times when she had danced in the rain as a child. It was as if the universe was sending her little winks of encouragement, a reminder that life, with all its twists and turns, could still be playful and kind. Every now and then, Emma would stop at a small roadside diner. At one such stop, as she sat quietly at a table near the window, she watched a family laughing over their pancakes. Their joy was simple, and it made her realize that sometimes happiness is found in the simplest moments. In very honest moments like these, you see that life is a collection of little acts of bravery, a daring step away from a plan, a smile when you are alone, or a kind gesture from a stranger. These small moments, when strung together, create the greatest adventure of life. One warm afternoon, as the golden light of the setting sun painted the sky, fate took an exciting turn. Emma's car was riding along a lonely stretch of road that cut through a quiet valley. Suddenly, from behind in a sleek, sparkling car that shone like a star, a vehicle slowly pulled up alongside her. In this car was a man who was known in whispers along the road as Mr. William, a self-made millionaire with a gentle smile and an aura of kindness that made people feel safe. Mr. William was not the kind of man who loudly announced his wealth or success. He was soft-spoken and believed that the best things in life came from genuine encounters. As he noticed Emma's solitary figure on the road, he felt an unexpected pull, a curiosity mixed with concern. Here was a woman who had left everything behind with nothing but her car and her brave heart. Rather than judge her, he saw a spark of genuine hope and courage. There is a lesson here. Sometimes the best things appear when we least expect them. Much like in a game when you think you are far behind, and then a surprise power-up gives you the boost you need, Mr. Williams' arrival was exactly that, a power-up to her journey. He did not ask for details and he did not force his ideas upon her. His presence was calm, like an unexpected break in a long, tiring song. After that surprising meeting on the stretch of road, Mr. William called out a simple, kind offer with his eyes and a gentle nod. Even though no words were spoken, his kind actions said, "I see you, and I want to help if you will let me." Emma, feeling the warmth and sincerity of his gesture, allowed him to join her on her journey, even if only for a little while. Together they set off along the roads that connected small villages, wide open fields, and quiet highways. As they drove, Mr. William, who had built his fortune through careful thinking, hard work, and sometimes a little risk, gradually showed Emma that life sometimes gives us a chance to learn in unexpected places. Just like a computer that needs careful programming and sometimes a reboot to work better, our lives sometimes need changes that come from deep inside. Mr. William explained with his kind smiles and thoughtful gestures that every hard decision can lead to lessons that shape us into stronger people. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You might fall a few times at first, but eventually you learn just how to balance. Even though Emma's decision to leave her wedding was a daring and scary choice, it became the beginning of learning something wonderful about life. How a single step of courage can lead to a journey filled with discovery and hope. Along the way, the roads they traveled became like classrooms where every mile taught them about patience, resilience, and the importance of following your heart. As simple as it may seem, Emma's car was more than just a vehicle. It was like a companion that carried her through the unknown. Every time the engine started, it reminded her of the countless tiny details that make up our lives. Modern cars come with special features: a GPS that tells you the fastest route, a radio that plays your favorite song, and safety features that protect you during your journey. In a way, these technical details can be seen as modern miracles, just as a brave decision can be seen as a miracle of the heart. Similarly, Mr. Williams' car was a work of art built with care and precision. It moved smoothly on the road, and every rev of its engine was like music that told a story of success earned through many careful steps. The smart design of the car and its thoughtful engineering reminded both Emma and all of us that sometimes success is built on attention to the tiniest details, details that might seem small but can change the whole picture of life. On that quiet road, technical details like the sound of the tires on the pavement or the dashboard lights blinking softly in the dark slowly merge with the feeling of hope and adventure. Emma began to see that both her life and the world around her were made up of many little parts. When these parts come together, they create a picture that is much bigger and more beautiful than the sum of its pieces. During their journey, there were several moments that made Emma laugh out loud. One day, Mr. William accidentally pressed the wrong button on his fancy car's computer. Suddenly, a funny tune filled the cabin instead of the calm music they had planned for. Emma giggled at the unexpected surprise. It was a light-hearted moment in an otherwise serious time. A reminder that even when we are on a long and uncertain journey, a little laughter is the best fuel to keep us going. Her laughter was like a breath of fresh air, and it helped her to see that life is full of surprises. It is a bit like when you try a new ice cream flavor. You might not know what to expect, but sometimes the unexpected taste brings a smile to your face. Even on days when the road seems endless, moments of humor and simple joy remind us that every step counts and every mile is worth a smile. As the days turned into nights and miles into memories, Emma found herself thinking deeply about what she had left behind and what lay ahead. In the quiet moments when the sky was filled with stars, she began to understand that her brave decision was not a mistake, but the beginning of learning who she truly was. There is a wonderful lesson in every difficult decision we face. Even though many people expect us to follow one path, sometimes our heart knows a secret path that leads to something even more beautiful. I truly believe that Emma's choice shows us that, even in moments of great fear, if we trust ourselves, we can find a better way. Imagine standing at the edge of a diving board over a sparkling pool. You are scared because the jump is big, but if you take that leap with trust, you find yourself swimming in a pool of bright, cheerful water. Emma's jump into the unknown was just like that, a leap from comfort into the exciting, unknown joy of life. And every mile on her journey became a lesson in courage, strength, and growth. After many days on the road, something remarkable happened. Emma reached a small town, a place that seemed untouched by hurried city life. The town was charming, with kind people, quiet streets, and a pace slow enough to let you breathe. Here Emma met friendly faces who welcomed her with warm smiles and gentle nods. Their kindness helped her to believe that even though she had left an old life behind, a new life filled with promise was waiting for her. In that peaceful town, Emma began to rebuild her dreams. With the spare change she had saved, and with the quiet lessons from the road, she started a small project, a little art workshop where people could come, learn to paint, and share their stories. She found that creativity is like a kind spark that lights up even the darkest of roads. Here, the lessons of her journey came quickly, that every part of life, whether safe or scary, adds a stroke of color to the canvas of our destiny. Mr. William, the kind millionaire, occasionally visited the town. He wasn't there to take credit or to change her plans. He was simply there as a friend who believed in giving people a chance. His visits, his gentle guidance, and even the technical tips he shared about running a small business turned into lessons that Emma would keep in her heart forever. Emma's journey teaches us many things. First, she teaches us that it is okay to listen to our inner voice. Even when the world around us shouts a different story, our hearts sometimes know the truth. And if we have bravery, we can follow that truth even if it means leaving behind what is expected. Second, her adventure on the road shows that life is made up of tiny moments. The sound of a car engine, the accidental playing of a funny song, a smile from a kind stranger, each of which adds a beautiful note to our personal symphony. We also learn that sometimes our paths are not straight. They twist, they curve, and sometimes they lead us into forests or quiet little towns. But every twist on the road is a chance to learn, to grow, and to find beauty where we least expect it. Even technical details like the precision of a car's dashboard or the careful planning of a small business are like the ingredients in a recipe. When mixed together with passion and a bit of luck, they can create a life that is as wonderful as a perfectly baked cake on a sunny day. Now, I want to share a little bit of my own feeling about this journey. I believe that bravery comes in many forms. Sometimes it is loud and dramatic, and other times it is quiet and hidden in simple choices. Emma's decision to run away from her wedding might seem shocking to some, but it is a reminder that we must trust ourselves. There will be times when life tells you that the safe or expected path is not the path that fills your heart. Trusting yourself means taking that step, even if you feel uncertain. I also have learned that fortunes and success are not measured merely in money or praise. True success comes from living a life that is genuine, from nurturing courage, and from taking every moment as a new chance. Mr. Williams' gentle actions show that even a millionaire, surrounded by luxury, can understand the value of a kind heart. His example tells us that caring for others and sharing wisdom is far more precious than any wealth. In this way, all the technical details of a successful life, whether it is the precise workings of a car or the careful planning of a project, are important, but they only serve to support the most important thing, our inner passion for life. After spending time in the small welcoming town, Emma began to realize something very important. The road she took was not just a route to leave behind an old life. It was a path toward discovering who she truly was. Every day brought a new lesson, every mile a new memory, and every friendly smile a reminder that our choices create our future. Her journey on the road is like embarking on a science experiment where every test, every observation, builds into a grand hypothesis about life. That sometimes the most unexpected choices are the ones that lead to magic. Consider the way a river flows. It might start as a small trickle, but as it travels, it collects every drop of water along its way. In the end, it becomes mighty and full of life. Emma's steps, her brave escape, and the kindness of people like Mr. William added up over time, transforming her story from one of fear into one of hope and discovery. This story reminds us that every choice we make, no matter how bold or uncertain, has the power to change our entire future. In the gentle light of that small town, Emma began to build a new life. She started a modest art studio that became a haven for dreamers and doers. Here, people of all ages came to express themselves. Kids learning to paint bright pictures, adults rediscovering forgotten passions, and even elders sharing stories of their long, winding journeys. Emma herself was happy not because she had run away from an old dream, but because she created an even brighter new one. Every brushstroke at her studio was a bold statement that life always offers chances to start fresh. Much like a painter mixing colors to get just the right shade, Emma mixed her experiences, heartbreak, joy, fear, and hope, into a beautiful picture of life. Every technical tip she learned from Mr. William about managing her small project, every moment of humor on the road, and every quiet, reflective minute under the stars all guided her to this new chapter. Her story is a beautiful lesson that sometimes you have to let go of something safe to embrace something truly wonderful. As we come to the end of this journey, let us remember the lessons Emma's adventure teaches us. First, never ignore the whisper of your heart, even when the world expects you to follow a certain path. Second, know that even if you feel lost or alone, unexpected help might be around the corner, sometimes in the form of a kind millionaire whose quiet actions speak volumes. And finally, understand that every step, every unexpected twist, is a part of the beautiful, unpredictable ride that is life. Emma's story shows how a single brave decision can open the door to a future filled with possibility. It teaches us that life is not about following a set plan, but about making choices that feel right for you. Whether it is moving away from a dream that no longer serves you, or accepting help from a friend when you need it most, every choice matters, and every choice can lead to a new beginning. As you listen to this story, think about the roads you have traveled and the many paths that lie ahead. Every one of our journeys has moments where we must decide whether to stay or to go. And sometimes the greatest adventure begins when we choose to step into the unknown. Thank you for joining me on this journey, a journey of brave choices, unexpected encounters, and the transformative power of following your heart. In Emma's story, we see that life is full of surprises and that the courage to walk a different path can lead us to beautiful new beginnings. If you enjoyed this story and found its message inspiring, please help our family of dreamers grow by clicking that subscribe button. By subscribing, you join a community that cherishes the power of courage and the beauty of everyday miracles. Also, check out the video on your screen. Now that dives deeper into another real-life adventure that will warm your heart. Every story has a twist, and sometimes the next story can be the one that changes your life. Remember, no matter where you are in your journey, it only takes one brave choice to change everything. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep following your inner light. Until next time, take care and keep exploring the road that leads to your dreams.